dad passed away in 2020 after a battle with dementia. When COVID hit, we weren't allowed to visit him anymore, and we tried to do Zoom calls. In his mind, he couldn't understand why we couldn't come see him, and his health declined very, very quickly after that. When he passed away, we had less than 24 hours to clear out his room in memory care. I arrived at the facility before my sisters, and I wanted to arrive there early because I wanted time to really sit with my dad. One of his hands was resting over his heart, and his eyes were open looking towards the sliding glass window, and the light was coming in at him just like this. Last night, I dreamt I was sitting in a high school football stadium. I was in the bleachers, and I was looking towards a stage, and I saw that my sister Jody was standing on it. And I remember thinking, this place looks so familiar. Then I heard someone yell out, "Jody Ellen Mogavero." I remember thinking, why is someone calling out my sister's maiden name? And then I thought, that sounds like my dad. I turned to the left, and there he was, but he was lying in a hospital bed. I literally gasped. I went, "Oh, Dad, it's you." And I started crying, and I was so happy. And I said, "Oh my God," I said, "I want to hug you, but I'm worried you're just a figment of my imagination." And he goes, "Hug me." And I leaned over, and I went like this, and I felt his arms wrap around me. And I said, "Oh, Dad," I said, "I miss you so much." And he said, "I'm here." He's like, "I know you can't see me, but I'm here." And he started to crack a few jokes about being a spirit. And in one of the jokes, he said, "Oh, that was probably just Eric messing with me." Eric was my brother who drowned when he was just 2 years old. I never personally met him because I was adopted right after that. But when he passed away, my sisters knew him, my older sisters, Dawn and Jody. Jody was about 7 years old, so she remembers Eric vividly. It was very clear that my dad wanted me to know that Eric was with him. So then I looked at my dad and I said, "Let me tell Jody that you're here." And I turned towards the stage and I yelled, "Jody, Dad's here." But when I looked back, he was gone. As I woke up, I heard one sentence as clearly as I've heard everything, and it was in my dad's voice. "Don't worry, everything that's hidden will come to light." I decided to grab my journal and start writing everything down because I didn't want to forget any details. While I'm writing, something hit me. It wasn't just any football stadium. It was my high school football stadium. And that's important to know because my sister Jody and I both graduated from the same high school about 7 years apart. And she was in choir. And I suddenly remembered one specific night. And it looked very similar to the location that was in my dream. It was the night that she sang "Wind Beneath My Wings" during a homecoming event, and my whole family went to watch her perform. My dad was a workaholic. Growing up, we honestly didn't see him very much. He missed a lot of important moments, and he wasn't at my high school graduation. But he showed up that night, and he talked about it for years. He would tell people how proud he was of Jody and how incredible it was to hear her sing in front of thousands of people. It was definitely one of those nights that was like a treasured core memory for him. And that's when everything clicked. He wasn't showing me random places. He brought me back to one of his favorite memories of my sister. And as you all know, I've really been trying to lean in and trust my intuition. So I texted her and I asked, "Have you been thinking about Dad lately?" She said, "Actually, yes. This morning, I was looking at a picture of him and thinking about everything that we went through and my memories of him and everything that happened at the end of his life and how we all stepped in to take care of him." And I said, "Well, I want to call you and tell you about this dream because Dad was in my dream last night." And I called her. I told her about the dream. I told her about him mentioning Eric, which I felt was a sign that they were together, and she loved that. Then I asked her, "Do you pray to Dad? Do you talk to Dad?" And she said, "Well, not really." She said, "I often pray to God, and I ask God to tell our dad that I miss him." And I told her, I said, "I really think Dad wants you to know that you can talk to him directly." So there's another realization that hit me. My dad in the dream didn't just say her name, he called out her maiden name. The way a parent would call from the stands, like a graduation or an event, so their child knows exactly where they are, where they're sitting. To me, that felt like he was saying, Jody, I'm here. That message really resonated with my sister. And as far as the other message that I heard, everything that's hidden will come to light. If you follow my channel and my stories, this will resonate with you too. It gave me some peace because it's reminding me to keep listening, to keep paying attention, to trust what's meant to be revealed, that it will be revealed in its own time. I don't expect anyone to believe what I believe. If this resonates with you because you've seen loved ones in your dreams, I hope that it reminds you how deeply love can stay connected. For me, this was one of those moments.